This striking historical image captures members of the Blackfoot tribe in the breathtaking landscape of Glacier National Park, a region that was once an integral part of their ancestral homeland. The Blackfoot people, known for their deep spiritual connection to the land, had roamed these plains and mountains long before the park's official designation in 1910. Dressed in traditional attire, the figures in the photograph stand as living embodiments of resilience and cultural heritage. The backdrop of towering peaks and open skies serves as a reminder of the vast landscapes that once belonged to them, before treaties and forced relocations reshaped their way of life. During World War I, the iconic Notre Dame Cathedral in Paris faced the threat of destruction from German artillery and aerial bombardment. In response, authorities took precautionary measures to safeguard this medieval masterpiece, shielding its delicate facade with sandbags and wooden reinforcements. This image stands as a testament to the cultural and historical value placed on Notre Dame, even in times of war. The site of the cathedral, wrapped in layers of protection, symbolizes the broader effort to preserve France's heritage amidst the chaos of conflict. Though Paris was largely spared from direct devastation, these defensive efforts reflected the city's determination to shield its most treasured landmarks from the ravages of modern warfare. Marga, Himmler and her daughter Gudrun were the wife and child of Heinrich Himmler, one of the most powerful figures in Nazi Germany. Marga, a nurse by profession, married Himmler in 1928, and together they adopted staunch nationalist ideals. Their daughter, Gudrun, was born in 1929 and was known to be her father's favorite, often accompanying him to official events. Even after the war, Gudrun remained loyal to her father's legacy, becoming an active member of post-war neo-Nazi circles and working to support former SS officers. She lived until 2018, maintaining her controversial views until her death. Dorothea Lange, best known for her Depression-era photography, was commissioned by the U.S. government in 1942 to document the internment of Japanese Americans during World War II. Her stark, haunting images captured the forced relocation and harsh conditions inside the camps, exposing the injustices faced by over 120,000 people, many of them U.S. citizens. However, the War Relocation Authority found Lange's work too critical of the policy and quickly censored her photographs. The images remained locked away in the National Archives for decades, unseen by the public. When they finally resurfaced, they became powerful evidence of a dark chapter in American history, one that had been deliberately hidden. In 1929, sunlight streamed through the towering windows of Grand Central Terminal, casting dramatic beams of light onto the concourse below. This breathtaking sight was a daily spectacle, illuminating the bustling crowds moving through one of New York City's busiest transit hubs. However, this natural display is now lost to time. Over the decades, the ever-growing skyline of Manhattan has blocked the direct sunlight that once flooded the station. What was once an architectural and atmospheric wonder, a moment of quiet grandeur amid the city's chaos, has been obscured by progress. Though the beams are gone, Grand Central remains an enduring icon of New York, a place where history and movement intertwine, echoing the city's relentless energy. Amid the concrete and brick landscapes of 1980s England, a group of children find joy in the simplest of ways, leaping and tumbling on a pile of old, discarded mattresses. Torn fabric and exposed springs do little to deter their laughter, as the worn-out bedding becomes an impromptu playground, a stage for endless games and carefree adventures. Scenes like this capture the unfiltered essence of childhood, the ability to turn the mundane into magic, to transform scraps into something spectacular. It's a fleeting moment of innocence in an era of economic struggles and urban decline, a reminder that even in tough times, play finds a way. On Christmas Eve, 1948, a moment of profound emotion unfolded as Holocaust survivor Joseph Gutman was reunited with his adoptive father and liberator, Master Sergeant William Best. The two had first met in the aftermath of the war, when Best, an American soldier, played a crucial role in rescuing and caring for Gutman, a survivor of unimaginable horrors. Their reunion, years later, was more than just a meeting. It was a testament to resilience, compassion, and the deep, unbreakable bonds formed in times of darkness. In the wake of devastation, Best had given Gutman not just aid, but hope, a chance at a new life. And now, on a night meant for warmth and family, they found each other once more, proving that even amid history's greatest tragedies, humanity endures. On Christmas Eve, 1948, a moment of profound emotion unfolded as Holocaust survivor Joseph Gutman was reunited with his adoptive father and liberator, Master Sergeant William Best. The two had first met in the aftermath of the war, when Best, an American soldier, played a crucial role in rescuing and caring for Gutman, a survivor of unimaginable horrors. Their reunion, years later, was more than just a meeting. It was a testament to resilience, compassion, and the deep, unbreakable bonds formed in times of darkness. In the wake of devastation, Best had given Gutman not just aid, but hope, a chance at a new life. And now, on a night meant for warmth and family, they found each other once more, proving that even amid history's greatest tragedies, humanity endures. Poon Lim, a Chinese sailor, endured an extraordinary 133 days alone at sea after his ship was torpedoed by a German U-boat in 1942. Stranded on a life raft with limited supplies, he relied on sheer ingenuity and resilience to survive the vast Atlantic. Using rainwater for drinking and fishing with makeshift hooks, Lim defied the odds, battling hunger, dehydration, and the relentless sun. Sharks circled his raft, storms threatened to capsize it, yet he persisted, proving the limits of human endurance. In April 1943, he was finally rescued off the coast of Brazil, becoming the longest-known lone survivor at sea. His story remains a testament to survival against impossible odds, earning him worldwide recognition and a place in naval history. In 1896, Nikola Tesla captured an X-ray image of his own foot using a device of his own design, just months after Wilhelm Röntgen's groundbreaking discovery of X-rays. Ever the pioneer, Tesla immediately recognized the potential of this invisible radiation and began his own experiments, pushing the boundaries of early radiography. Unlike many early researchers, Tesla was acutely aware of the dangers posed by prolonged exposure to X-rays. He noted their biological effects long before their risks were fully understood, demonstrating not only his inventive genius but also his foresight in scientific exploration. This self-taken X-ray is more than just an image, it is a testament to Tesla's relentless curiosity in his role in shaping the future of electromagnetism, imaging technology, and modern physics. At the turn of the 20th century, North American lumberjacks were the backbone of an industry that fueled the rapid expansion of cities and railroads. These rugged men worked tirelessly in remote forests, felling massive trees with hand saws and axes, often braving brutal winters and dangerous conditions. Dressed in woolen clothing, suspenders, and heavy boots, lumberjacks formed tight-knit communities in logging camps, where hard labor was matched with camaraderie and resilience. Their daily lives consisted of grueling physical work, cutting, hauling, and transporting timber, often under the constant threat of injury from falling trees or runaway logs. General August Emil Fieldorf, known by his wartime alias, Nil, was a distinguished commander of the Polish resistance during World War II. As a key leader of the Armia Krajowa, Home Army, he orchestrated sabotage operations and coordinated attacks against German occupation forces. His unwavering commitment to Poland's independence made him a national hero, but also a target of Soviet-backed authorities after the war. In 1950, Fieldorf was arrested by the Communist Security Services on fabricated charges of anti-state activities. Subjected to a show trial, he was sentenced to death and hanged on February 24, 1953, in Warsaw's Mokoto prison. His body was never found, despite numerous efforts to locate his remains, leaving his final resting place unknown. Fieldorf's execution stands as a symbol of the brutal repression faced by Polish patriots under communist rule, heroes of one war, condemned as enemies in the next. On March 23, 1933, Adolf Hitler addressed the German Reichstag, seeking the passage of the Enabling Act, Vermachtigungsgesetz. This law would grant his government the power to enact laws without parliamentary approval, effectively dismantling the democratic foundations of the Weimar Republic and solidifying his dictatorship. Speaking in the Kroll Opera House, since the Reichstag building had been set ablaze a month earlier, Hitler framed the bill as a necessary measure to restore order and rebuild Germany. His speech was filled with assurances that the government would respect national traditions, while simultaneously threatening opposition parties. The presence of Nazi SA and SS troops outside the hall served as an unspoken warning to those considering resistance. In August 1950, German expellees, Vertriebene, gathered in West Germany to protest the territorial losses and forced expulsions that followed World War II. Holding banners and a large map depicting a united Germany, including the Sudetenland, East Prussia, and lands east of the Oder-Neisse line, they voiced their opposition to the territorial agreements made at the Yalta and Potsdam conferences. These agreements, determined by the Allied powers, led to the redrawing of Germany's borders and the mass expulsion of millions of ethnic Germans from former German territories ceded to Poland, Czechoslovakia, and the Soviet Union. The displaced communities, now refugees in a divided Germany, struggled with loss, identity, and political marginalization. The protests reflected a broader movement among expellee organizations in post-war West Germany, advocating for territorial revision and the right to return. However, as Cold War realities solidified Europe's borders, these demands remained largely symbolic, with West Germany gradually shifting its focus toward European integration and reconciliation. Physicist Richard P. Feynman, one of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century, was photographed at Los Alamos in 1944, during his time working on the Manhattan Project. At just 26 years old, Feynman played a crucial role in the theoretical division, contributing to the complex calculations behind nuclear chain reactions and bomb efficiency. Los Alamos, a top-secret facility in New Mexico, became the epicenter of the U.S. atomic bomb project, bringing together some of the greatest scientific minds, including Oppenheimer, Teller, and Bohr. Feynman's unconventional approach, boundless curiosity, and sharp wit made him stand out even among such esteemed company. He was known for his habit of picking locks around the lab, not out of malice, but as a way to highlight security flaws. This rare wartime image captures Feynman during a pivotal moment in history, a young physicist unknowingly contributing to a weapon that would change the world forever. His later reflections on the bomb, ethics, and the responsibility of scientists would shape much of his post-war philosophy. Today marks the 80th anniversary of the Battle of Iwo Jima, one of the most grueling and iconic battles of World War II. On February 19, 1945, U.S. Marines launched an amphibious assault on the volcanic island, facing fierce resistance from deeply entrenched Japanese defenders. Over 36 days of relentless combat, the Marines secured the island in a costly victory that claimed nearly 7,000 American lives and wounded over 19,000 more. Japanese casualties were even higher, with nearly all of the 21,000 defenders fighting to the death. The capture of Iwo Jima proved strategically vital. The island provided a critical emergency landing site for crippled B-29 bombers returning from bombing raids over Japan, significantly increasing their survival rate. The battle also marked a turning point in the Pacific theater, setting the stage for the eventual invasion of Okinawa and the final push toward Japan's mainland. Perhaps the most enduring image of the battle is Joe Rosenthal's famous photograph of Marines raising the American flag atop Mount Suribachi, an image that has become synonymous with courage, sacrifice, and the Marine Corps' unwavering resolve. In this striking image from 1939, workers excavate beneath the historic grounds of the Colosseum to construct Rome's subway system. Undertaken during Mussolini's fascist regime, the project was part of a broader effort to modernize Italy's infrastructure while showcasing the country's engineering prowess. However, World War II would delay the completion of the subway, and it wasn't until February 1955, 70 years ago this month, that Rome's first metro line was finally inaugurated. Building beneath the ancient city presented significant archaeological and engineering challenges, as Rome's rich historical layers required careful excavation to balance modern development with the preservation of its past. The juxtaposition of ancient ruins and modern technology serves as a reminder of Rome's unique ability to evolve while maintaining its deep historical roots. A brigade of Navarrese recruits, the Carlist paramilitary forces, assembled in Pamplona during the Spanish Civil War. The recruits were staunchly traditionalist and monarchist, fighting on the side of the nationalists under General Franco. Known for their red berets and religious fervor, they played a significant role in the conflict, particularly in northern Spain. Their disciplined ranks and battlefield tenacity made them a formidable force, deeply committed to their cause in the brutal civil war that shaped modern Spain. A group of spectators stands in solemn stillness, watching as San Francisco is engulfed in flames following the catastrophic earthquake of April 18, 1906. The disaster, one of the deadliest in U.S. history, triggered uncontrollable fires that raged for days, fueled by broken gas lines and wooden structures. With the city's water mains destroyed, firefighters were powerless to stop the inferno. Nearly 80% of San Francisco was reduced to ruins, displacing hundreds of thousands. This haunting scene captures the scale of devastation and the stunned helplessness of those witnessing their city's destruction. Bonnie Parker and Clyde Barrow's crime spree came to a violent end on May 23, 1934, when law enforcement officers ambushed them on Highway 154 in Bienville Parish, Louisiana. Their stolen 1934 Ford Deluxe sedan, now riddled with bullets, became an infamous relic of their demise. The couple, who had eluded capture for years, were met with a hail of gunfire from a posse of 6 officers, who fired over 130 rounds. The brutal ambush left no chance for escape. Bonnie and Clyde were killed instantly. This image of their bullet-ridden car remains one of the most iconic symbols of Depression-era crime in America. The U.S. Army's first and only official bicycle division, the 25th Infantry Bicycle Corps, was an experimental unit formed in the late 19th century to test the viability of bicycles for military transportation. Composed primarily of African American soldiers from the 25th Infantry Regiment, the Corps undertook grueling long-distance rides, the most famous being their 1,900-mile journey from Montana to St. Louis in 1897. Enduring harsh terrain, extreme weather, and mechanical challenges, the men demonstrated remarkable endurance and discipline. Despite their success, bicycles were ultimately deemed impractical for large-scale military use, and the experiment was abandoned. However, the legacy of the 25th Infantry Bicycle Corps remains a testament to innovation and resilience in military history. During the early 1890s, Creede, Colorado, became the epicenter of the last great silver boom in the state, attracting fortune seekers, outlaws, and legendary figures of the Wild West. Among those drawn to the town's lawless energy were Soapy Smith, a notorious conman and gang leader, Bob Ford, the man infamous for killing Jesse James, and Bat Masterson, the famed lawman and gunslinger. Creede's boom was short-lived, but in its brief heyday, it embodied the wild, unrestrained spirit of the frontier, where fortunes were made and lost, and danger lurked in every saloon and alley. It remains a significant chapter in the history of the Old West, a place where legends crossed paths at the twilight of an era. In one of the most chaotic moments of the 20th century, the final evacuation of Saigon on April 30, 1975, saw a desperate crowd scrambling to secure a spot on the last helicopters departing the U.S. Embassy. In the frenzy, an American evacuee was captured punching a South Vietnamese man in a desperate attempt to board. As North Vietnamese forces closed in on the city, thousands of South Vietnamese citizens who had aided the U.S. war effort feared for their lives. The scene at the embassy became one of utter panic, with people pushing, shoving, and even fighting for a chance at escape. The last flights marked the definitive end of U.S. involvement in Vietnam, leaving behind countless allies to an uncertain fate. In a powerful testament to resilience and determination, a 106-year-old woman was photographed in 1990, standing guard to protect her home. Despite her advanced age, she remained steadfast, embodying the spirit of defiance in the face of uncertainty. While details surrounding her story remain scarce, the image serves as a striking symbol of strength, perseverance, and the deep connection people hold to their homes, regardless of the circumstances. This photograph showcases the intricate flight deck of the B-29 Superfortress, one of the most advanced bombers of World War II. Designed for long-range strategic bombing, the B-29 featured a pressurized cabin, remote-controlled gun turrets, and cutting-edge avionics for its time. Notably, the image captures the security blanket draped over the Norden bomb site, an essential device used for precision bombing. The U.S. military went to great lengths to keep its technology secret, ensuring that this crucial instrument remained protected from enemy hands. In 1919, Nguyen Ai Quoc, who would later be known as Ho Chi Minh, was in France, actively advocating for Vietnam's independence from French colonial rule. As a young revolutionary, he submitted the petition of the enemy's people to the Versailles Peace Conference, hoping to gain support for Vietnam's self-determination. Despite being largely ignored by world leaders, this moment marked a pivotal step in his lifelong struggle for national liberation. It was in France that he became deeply influenced by socialist and communist ideologies, which would later shape his leadership in Vietnam's independence movement.